All right. The value of a godly marriage. All right. If you want to liberate your marriage, it begins with leadership. And that leadership is demonstrated through love. The role of a husband is simple. Just love your wife. Well, okay, so what does that love look like? You know, in Ephesians 5:25 through 33, love is written 7 times. We've heard twice this morning, 7 is perfection. I'm learning to perfect how to love my wife. Let's look at 2 of those in Ephesians. In Ephesians 5:25, it says right here, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and he gave himself up for her. That is something we all got to think about. That type of love, a Christ-like love, a sacrificial love, laying down your life for your wife. You know, Sharon and I have been married for almost 28 years. We were not married in the kingdom. It wasn't built on the foundation of the Bible, our marriage, and it would not have survived. 39 years ago yesterday, Sharon was baptized. But Sharon fell away. Thank goodness she was restored. I got baptized and the kingdom saved our marriage. You know, being married in the kingdom is one of the best blessings you could ever ask for. You know, and I want to share with you just a couple of things that we've learned specifically over the last couple of years. You know, through this pandemic, we've come to the conclusion that Satan has attacked the marriages in the kingdom. And you know, at the root of it, I say it's this. It's a lack of leadership by the husbands. And we have biblical examples. Adam didn't lead Eve in the garden. Abraham, he didn't lead Sarah when they're in Egypt. Ananias, he didn't lead Sapphira in being honest. And what we've discovered is just a greater need. There's a greater need for communication in marriage and transparency. You know, one question we ask every time we get with someone, another married couple, we come to the conclusion is, do you pray together? And shockingly, the answer is no. I pray with Sharon every single day, oftentimes more than once a day. You know, we're called to be considerate of our wives in 1 Peter 3. Talk to, respect them, to pray with them. And I just have a simple challenge for you. Pray with your wife for life. You know, you've got to pray with your wife. You know, another way to consider your wife, it's in discipling. You know, your wife is your number one discipling relationship. It comes before anything else in your life, after your relationship with God. You know, this year I made a decision to challenge Sharon. I wanted to disciple her. I said, let's read through the Bible together this year. First 5 months of the year, every single quiet time, we read the Bible together. She beat me by 3 days. You know what we did? We go for a prayer walk every single day, talk about our quiet times. What did you learn? It's a dialogue. It connects you. It gets you spiritual. It makes you holy. And you get closer to one another. You know, a lot of times in discipling Sharon, I won't disciple her in the moment. And I take the time. I observe, I assess, I pray, I consider what are her needs. You know, and based on that, I'll put a Bible study together that's specific to what her needs are. And it is something that when we think about it, it's worry and anxious. And you take the time to invest in your wife. I put a study together for her last week, coming out of the pandemic, traveling. What do we do? How do we do these things? Matthew 6, do not worry. Ask her the question because it's written 6 times in there, don't worry. What are you worried about, Sharon? We spent time together to talk about that and enriching our lives to understand things. Here's my challenge. Pray with your wife, disciple your wife, and to God be the glory.